Alright, so just to recap, what did we do last time? Well, we got our code to basically spawn the panels that are custom variations of the form class. And each of those is getting spawned up in its own run space that we are able to control externally from the console. And at the same time, we also have a run space that's thrown in there, which is taking care of grabbing the data from the UDP connection and populating a custom, synchronized hash table object, which makes sure that that data is available to all the other panels. So what we're going to try and do today is get those panels hooked into that data, and hopefully we can get them to start displaying stuff from the telemetry of Simple Rockets. So we'll get going with Simple Rockets just to get a data source running, but maybe we'll change the resolution, make it a little more usable. We can kind of keep that there. I think that's all right. All right, so I think this is good to go. We'll just get that going. Now, this is the main script that we had, which kind of took care of getting everything going. Now, we'll just get the flight conditions in place, make sure that things are running. Yep, that looks good. And now we'll run the script. This should spawn up the windows. It sure did. So that's good. And seems like we fixed the window issue we were having last time where we couldn't move it all the way around the screen. So that's good. We'll be able to work on the positioning later as well. So we'll just get rid of those windows. We don't really need them right now. What we care about is the fact that we should have a craft object. So I'll zoom this in because this is ridiculous. Now, yeah, we do have a craft object. Yes. And let's see what the state looks like. Oh, collection. Oh, that's all right. Okay, so we do have some data. That's fantastic. That looks good. So now what we're gonna do is see if we can sort out this data, as it's all right now, it's all jumbled up, so we can't really kind of do much with it, but we gotta sort it. We gotta sort it by the name. Now this is a hash table. Hash tables are a little different, so I gotta remember how to, let's say, let's get all the keys, which are the things on the left, and then we will sort that. And then we will, for each on that, we'll basically output the same thing. So we'll just do $open $craft.state.key .state. Yes, and from there that will give us the value, which means that we can just put $_ here, put a bit of space. It won't be formatted very nicely, but it should do the trick. So let's see. Yeah, all right. So it's sorted all things. That's good. Okay. Now our next challenge would be to figure out alright, so we have I suppose what we could do is we could look for absolutely, yeah. Okay, so we can look for the first word. The first capitalized word is going to be how we want to break them up. So we need to figure out, if we take the keys, oh, let's try. Okay. Alright, so what we're gonna need to do is, when we create the craft object, we pass the craft, inner craft, okay, yeah, so, and we're passing it over here. Okay, so what we need to do is the craft object we create, which is right here, before we affect it, we need to enumerate all the keys into some kind of static array, so that way we have something we can reference without locking the craft.state property, because we've got to be careful with that. That is a hash table that's synchronized, so it's going to be kind of touchy. But so the keys, and we want to assign that to craft keys, craft state keys equal, there you go. All right, so that means that we can rerun this, I believe. That problem. We didn't kill the UDP listener, so we're gonna have to change the timing on this. So let's go back. Oh yeah, that's why we had a huge amount of time on the listener. We just need 10 maybe or so seconds. We just want to get some data in, make sure things are working. So we'll just save this. We'll have to close it down. Relaunch. Alright, let's reopen that. And I suppose we can maybe just don't need all those panels to open each time, so we'll just comment that out. Alright, and let's see if we can get access to the ports. Alright, $craft state. Okay. Alright, we did get data. Okay, alright. So that means that we can do $copy equal $craft.state. Okay, so if we play with copies, we should be fine. Okay. Alright, so in any event, we have our craft state keys. And they're all jumbled up. We can sort that. Sort. Let's make that a bit bigger. Alright, craft state keys, sort object. That'll be good. Now, we have to figure out how to... Okay, so I guess the way we would want to figure out how to determine where the second word starts is with capitals. That's the standard we'll use, and I think that's acceptable. But let's see. Yeah, what we'll need to do is we will need to look up the ASCII table, I suppose. And I believe all the capitals are in a range. Yes, they are. So, yeah, so we basically have the ASCII codes of capitals. Okay, so we have craft state keys. We can do this work in another new window. So, $craft state keys. And let us break it down into a char array. So, no. no, we have to go through each name. So for each, well, let's do it properly in case Michael is watching. For each $key in craft state keys. All right, so $key dot to, we know this is a string. You can strongly type that so we get better autocomplete, I believe. Key equal key dot to, why am I running something? Okay. So key to car array to car. Yeah, okay. Alright, so and then let's take $key down here and let's do for each. Okay. Okay, perfect. So to car array, and where, and now we have to cast this. We have to cast this as, I think, byte. Let's just do for each. Yeah, so, okay, so let's do that. To car array, and then for each. Do I have to do that? Can I just? Yeah, I have to. For each. Right. Let's try that. Okay. Right. Yes, there you go. Alright, so the first character in this case of key is atmosphere. So 8. And the decimal value of ASCII for that is 65. And there you go. There's the first value. So now we need to know that. So key to car array. And then, yeah, so then, let's substring it. So let's, before we send it to a car array, we'll substring it, and we'll select from the first slot on, so we get rid of that first character. Then we set it to a car array. Now we can look for the first value. The first, and then for each. If byte of the $underscore greater than or equal to 65 and byte $underscore less than or equal to, what's the last character? The last character is 90. Obviously. So if we're gonna output what that character is, and we will also break. Yes. All right. So now with this should, what we have here should stop at another A, and it will output A and then stop. Oh, I'm missing something. What am I missing? There's an if. Oh, yeah, my for each. Yes, alright, perfect. So this is working. So there you go. That'll find the next capital character and what it is. So next capital equal that. Next capital equal that. All right. And now we will want to $key dot index of $next capital, but we have to substring it, so we do the same kind of deal here. Dot substring 1. There you go, and then index of next capital, and next capital index equal, then $next capital index. All right, so $key. Let's try that. Okay. Now let's change key. Make sure it's not getting screwed up. Let's set $key equal B atmosphere air density. All right. Okay, and let's rerun this. And it's still A. Okay. That looks alright. So it wasn't a fluke on the first character. Let's change that to a B. That should confirm it. And yeah, it's B. So this works. So this finds the right character. That's not the index, sorry. So index of this. A second. Key dot substring. Okay. What's oh, wait a second. Key is that. And it's not outputting the next capital. It's substring this. And then it's dot index of next capital. Okay, that's a number. And then I have to add +1 to it. And then next capital equal. Oh no, wait a second. What am I doing? I don't need to do that. I'm just redoing things. All right. Okay, I don't understand why it. Oh yeah, it's outputting because it's there. Okay, so that's it. So what's this? This is outputting the next capital. Next capital. Yeah, I just want to double check and see what's going on. Okay, so no, something's missing here. Okay, that looks alright. Yes. For each What is going on? Something's not right here. Okay, at least that makes sense. That was like totally weird. I'd never seen that before. Okay, that's right. At least I'm getting some errors because I don't have key. So let's say $key equal beat sphere density. Okay. So keep cars equal for each signs in $key cars. Wow, this is looking much better. If much better. Okay. For each. There we go. Okay. Let's see key cards. Let's have key cards. Yes. Now let's try. Okay. Okay. So, right. $key equal. All right. This was kind of messy. What's going on here? So, I don't need to substring here. That's why. I think that's why it's tripping up. Okay. And then for each key cars in. So here I can just do a subselect, which I think is like this. Is that right? This. No. Could it be that? What's this? $key cars. I guess I have to go the long way. Alright, so that would be adding key cars dot count -1. Right, and key cars dot count is 17. Okay. So that's it. So I just need this bit. And I'll just put that over here. That should next capital. $next capital $next capital equal. Go. The next capital index, and then next capital index equal. I should get key cars and do the same thing. And then add one. Okay, add one. And then next capital index. Oh. So key guard. Okay. The index of. So, next capital index. Ooh, that didn't work. Index of key cards. So I need to. It's next capital. Next capital. I think I have to do that. Just do $sign, make sure it's firing. Let's see, yeah, okay, so it's firing. And that's why. That's silly. Okay, that's why. That's it. Okay. It's a bit much to grab. Okay, so cars. Okay. Next capital index, and with the next capital index, what we can do is we can $sign key dot substring next capital index, and this should work. Density, and we can do density squared. We should catch that. Wait, what? Oh, right. Squared. Yeah, okay. Alright, so that's working. We just need to feed it a key now. So we have a $sign key that we need to feed it equal some, so basically the first term, which will be denoted by capitals denote terms, or denote first capitalized word will be panel name. All properties with that first capitalized word will be grouped onto the same panel. I think that's simple enough. Okay. So we have that. So we can open up this thing. We can make sure we set, okay, we did. Short interval, that's good. So now, okay. So we need it to build a grouping. Craft class, craft state keys, yes. Let's just do the right thing in history keys, but I assume that is going to be the same, but we'll just craft history. All right, so we have that, and now, okay. So we have this. Let's just run this. Make sure we're getting some data. $craft dot state. There you go. We got some data. Okay. Okay. All right. So craft state. Now, what we can do is we can do craft state keys. Oh, we have the keys. So we'll sort them right off the bat. I think there's a way to do ordered hash table. That might be an easy way to... What's the syntax? Does anyone know the syntax? Ordered hash table.net. Sorting hash table by order, which was created. Somebody's probably suggesting to use that. No, ordered. I think it's called ordered. Ordered dictionaries. Table. No. Powershell. Order. Hash table. Dr. Scripto is pretty darn good. Okay, so I put order type accelerator next to the variable I want to hold the ordered dictionary. But is it the same thing? So ordered $ something. Okay. Well, I guess we could try something. I guess we could try... Yeah, we could definitely just try ordering them before submitting them to be synchronized. Let's see if that has an impact on them. Ordered. No. What? Maybe. What doesn't it like about this? The order can only on a hash literal node. So it's not a hash literal node. That's too bad. Alright. Okay, so we already ran that. So that means we have the craft key, craft state keys. Okay, we got that. So wait a second. That's better. Okay. So we have all that sorted. Next, what do we need to do? We need to use our little code again. Right here. So $craft state keys. For each craft state, or let's call it CS key in craft state keys. So we're going through each key. All right, so first, let's go and grab. First terms. What crap is surface velocity in there? I don't get it. Get it. Interesting. Okay. Let's go ahead. And if anyone has any PowerShell questions, I'm happy to address them. Feel free to just ask, and we can go ahead and go through them. I'm just working on personal projects here. I'm sure there's something of interest to you, but I'm more than happy to help if you're stuck on anything. Be happy to try and get you through it. So let's go back to this and let's see. Okay, that's good. And now let's go. Just gotta state the keys. Dollar sign, gotta state keys. Sort. So I think we should first create a function get index of second word, and we will submit the in string. Stuff. So key cars equal in str. Return. For each. All right. So now key to the for each CS key. So it's $CS key is what we're after, and we want to get index of second word. Let's just try that out. Okay. That looks good, and that actually kind of lines up with what we would see before, which means that if we do a substring of CS key, substring here, that should be fine. Go. Perfect. Now, I actually don't want to do that first. First, what I want to do is get all the unique first words. So, $sign first words equal this. Substring will actually do 0 until this -1. That should... No, not -1. You fool. Alright. Okay, so now for each of these, what we can do is we can just throw all of these into the first words. First words plus... That's a simple one. Alright, so now we're just throwing all... Let's see what first words is first. First words first. It's empty. And we can double check that by saying $no. We don't get a true back, which means that this code did run and I think it created it. So it should still be of type array, just empty. Get type, yeah, it does have methods. So yeah, there you go. It's just an empty array. Now, let's run this and we will now have... Oh. Thank you so much for the follow, Minton. 4K. So now what we're going to do is run the code and let's have a look at the array. The array should basically match the output up here. So we'll have a look at first words again. Yeah, there you go. Now we need to choose only... This thing really kind of gets me bothered because I don't quite know. That might actually be... Let's have a look. Because I didn't see anything in PowerShell, so it might be inside the code of the Visi automation in Simple Rockets. So Simple Rockets has something to automate flights, and that is called Visi. It's a great program. Go ahead, check it out, but let's go ahead and see what's inside here. So I imagine there is a log surface something somewhere. Let's see. There you go. Delete file. Save. Okay. Save to craft. Alright, that should fix that. I will save temp. We can save this. And we don't need that stuff. We will save that stuff. We'll just restart this. And we'll get this thing back on the launchpad so we can get some data. Go back and open up the temp. Open up the code to get this going. We'll start that. We can close this. That'll get craft data. Oops. Oh no, I forgot to activate. Let's see. Okay, good. Alright, we got some data in there. That's all we care about. So now, we can go here. Let's just run this. And now we can check first words again. First words, yes, and we got rid of that surface. So that's cool. We got rid of that little aberration. And now we need to select only the distinct items in this list. That's super easy with PowerShell. So we can actually just do first words, select dash unique, and there you go. That's a really easy one. So for each, we could even add an if statement in here, saying if $ first words not contains this, then we could add it. But then we're doing that calculation twice. So I typically prefer things this way, but I'm sure there is some point where there's a balance between which one's more efficient. But in this case, it's so small, it doesn't really matter. So we'll just set first words to equal itself, but only the unique. That should help out. And let's try this. First words. Perfect. All right, so now we have all the names of the panels that we want to create. So we'll just change this to panels, panel names. Okay. Okay. So now we got the panel names, but we also have to get the values for each of those panel names. So okay, how are we going to do this? So we have the panel names. I guess we could store a key. So each panel name could be a key in a hash table. Then that stores a hash table which has a key, which is the raw property name coming out of the UDP, which would then have a value of, that would have a key that would, that would have a value of the trimmed up name, the cleaned up name. Okay. So for each $sign name in panel names, panel data object equal a hash table. And then for each name in panel names, we will panel data object dot add $sign name, and its value will be a this will be a hash table. And okay, yeah, panel data, that'll be a hash table. Okay, but that hash table will have, okay, so we'll have, okay, so for each name panel, for each, we have another, we have to add a nest of for each in here, and this is going to be for each, or actually no, we can do a select. We could do craft state keys where like $sign name star, and then okay, so craft state keys, and then we have all the raw keys. So panel properties, panel prop names equal craft state keys is where we could just call it panel prop names equal, okay, panel prop names equal all the state keys. Perfect. And then for each of these, okay, so we can do for each of these, we should do it a little more structured. Okay, so panel prop names, and then for each panel prop in $sign panel prop names, okay, for each panel prop in panel prop names, we are going to this is right. This needs to this. Then we need to do $, panel data object dot name dot $name dot add, and then $panel prop, and its value is going to be the cleaned up name where we trim off the first bit. So the opposite of the substring here. So let's just double check here. Now velocity, if we take this off, vertical, that's it. That's the one. So we need the same kind of thing here, and it will be panel prop dot substring get index of second word panel prop. So there you go. We gotta encapsulate that. Okay. So I think this will work. All right, so now panel data object should kind of be nice and structured. Beautiful. Dot time. Huh. That's beautiful. Oh, look at that. Okay. Excellent. 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 Okay. So let's just go a little further, double check something. Velocity. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, perfect. Now that means that I could inside. Sorry about that. That means inside of Simple Rockets, on the code inside the black box, if we go on it, you can see I kind of have things structured here, a certain name. That means that people could create their own arbitrary variables if they're named this way with the underscores. And that first term after log, they could call it whatever they wanted. And then whatever variable after whatever name they want and value, and that could be part of its own panel. So it'll allow people to kind of construct their own panels directly within Visi with the importation of a few programs, and of course the code for the panels. So that's cool. We have our data organized now. Yeah, we have our data organized now so that it can kind of be done dynamically per panel. So let's see if we can maybe just spawn up. So we're gonna have to take some of this code because we need some of this code to spawn up the panels dynamically, because we're going to have basically panels with these names. So I mean, it was first words, but really it's panel names. So let's clean that up. All right, that's good. All right. clean this up. No need for this to be drawn out like that. That looks good. All right. So, does anyone have any questions? I'll just take a minute here, just see if anyone has any questions. Don't forget to click follow, guys, if you want to follow along in the longer term. We'll get to something that's finished that gets onto GitHub by the end of it. And if you guys want to have access to this on GitHub, you know, ahead of time, if this is something you'd like me to put on GitHub after each episode or something like that, I can do that too. Just let me know. So let's get back into things here. We'll just save this temp file, give it another go, and all right. So $. Let's just try something. $PS custom object. $ham data object. $TMP equal. Can I do it that way? I think I have to do it this way. Yeah, it's still. Yeah, that's not so good. Okay. So we got to pull this into our prototype code here. So my panel names. Where do we use the my panel names? So this is going to be, yes, after we set up the receiver run space, because the receiver run space is the one that's going to generate, I assume, the properties. Yeah, let's assume that we're doing all properties for now. That's another thing we'll have to approach in the future, is trying to dynamically size things based upon the output from busy, but okay. Let's go ahead and take this function. We'll just make this function available at the top. Okay, nowhere to super clean to put it, so we'll just put air. And then panel names. Okay. Craft state keys is created up here. Yeah, perfect. Okay. And then we have to construct the panel data. Object. Okay. And now we'll just change this to panel names. And I think that'll do the trick. Alright, let's see. Oh, let's maybe get our data going. Up here, we'll save to craft. Then we'll just get this going. Thanks to all the people who are popping in, having a look. Please click the follow button if you like this. Simple rocket stuff. It's not for everyone, but to me it's a fun game. But also in the current work I'm doing in PowerShell, it's acting as a data source, which is kind of fun. Something different and dynamic. But let's go ahead and activate the black box on the... Yeah, that's always fun to see. Let's go ahead and activate the black box on the plane. Maybe we'll just get this thing going. Just hear the jet engine a bit. And we'll set something like go. And let's give it a run. Okay, we got some windows here. Let's see what's going on. Alright, we have an altitude window. That's cool. Close that. What's this? We got a misc window. That's cool. Activation. Orbit, that's 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. Oh, of course. Of course, still has some inputs. So, when I'm going and creating my so I create, so I think yeah, so I should be appending something to the variable name. Right, so I will append something like PNL, I guess. Yeah, PNL. I don't want something too long, I want it to be short. Something short, that should work. Let's try this again. Okay. Right. Cannot remove variable. Oh. Right. We can't remove. Okay. So that's okay. So it's working. Oh no. So it was working. The only thing was the cleanup part for the new variables that I'm creating, which I believe is right here. Yes, I need to add the same kind of formatting. Alright. Okay. So I think that will work nicely. Yes. All right. Okay. I think we can change the default size, make them a bit smaller, just a little bit more manageable with the amount of... Yeah. We can definitely do that, but I think we'll do something a little simpler. I think what we'll do is we will just select like a top for each phenomenon. My panels. Right. Each panel. So my panels, $sign my panels equal $sign my panels select dash first. Let's just try that. Okay. So each panel is getting created now. it should be receiving data. It should be receiving data. Let's see. Should we maybe work on some docking code? I think so. We could try doing some docking stuff. Let's go into the panel. This is it. So, how are we going to do this docking code? If we have a bunch of windows open, and I can run that first script again just to get a few open. Okay, let's say we have some windows like this. How are we gonna go about getting them to kind of snap together? What would be like the correct way mathematically to think about doing that? Anyone want to chime in? I suppose we shall. So the information should be shared amongst the forms. So we need to update the forms. So these forms to maybe display data from the run space, from the hash tables. And we can kind of validate that they are indeed getting some live data. So let's see if we can do something dynamic. Alright, so can we do something dynamic? No, because I think we passed the hash table objects to the panels after we instantiate them. Ah, right. So okay. So we need to all right. So okay, what we have to do here now is, so we create a new this is the run space code or script block where we instantiate each panel, and this is where we're passing it its name, and that's our custom class from here. So we actually add a move method, or add to the move method on the instance itself, because we can refer to the synchronized hash table in that context in a way that seems to work. Because if we look at rsdoc.values, we have values, and this is being populated by each run space. So we know that the values are coming out, which means that this code here is working. So we can reference the synchronized hash table the right way with our custom class this way. But that means that we have to do it after we instantiate it, which means we couldn't do anything inside the constructor of our class, which is the code here that gets called, basically all of it, when we construct the class. So that's okay. I don't think that's a big deal. But we will need to add some controls. So let's think about this. So if we have to add controls, like I have some debug controls on it now with like the positions and stuff. Like I can run this script and like see, like as I move this around, you can see I don't know if the stream is good enough to see it. Oh yeah, it's good enough to see it. But you can see how the numbers just kind of slowly change as I move it around. So it's pretty good. Now I just need to add, and those are lined up quite leftwise, which is nice. I know what the size of those is, because that is part of the class. It's all these LBLs, and their width is 100. Now, what's the width of the form? What is the width of the form? Okay, I guess it doesn't have a width. That's okay. So these locations are what? So it's an offset of 10 on the X plus a width of this. So I'll give it another 10. So my X basis for any additions should be 180, 120, 120? Yeah, 120. So $X base equal 120. X position base equal 120. So let's see also what the vertical spacing is 30. So $vert space vert row, let's say y row pixels equal 30. Okay, and what are we gonna show here? Oh yeah, we're gonna write. So okay. And now, let's say the width is, yeah, okay, we'll just copy label here. Wait a second. So its height is 30, and how does that look? I guess it does. I guess it's the font size. Alright. I guess so. Okay. So, let's say we have, do we have, what was the thing we created? We created panel data objects. So, panel data object. Just want to see. So let's say velocity. Okay. So velocity, so we're gonna have the panel name. So let's say $panel name equal velocity. And then we'll do $panel name here. And okay, panel name. And then dot keys. Then for each of the keys, we will get the value. $sign underscore. Actually, no, we just have to do that. Oh no, I'm still selecting. Can we get values? Just maybe like this. No. Okay, so we have to go through them all, I suppose. So for each, and then value. Let's try that. Ooh, wait a second. Dot panel name. Okay. Dot keys. Okay. Okay. That's why. Shouldn't have value there. There we go. I don't like that white space. What's that white space? Okay. Alright, so we got that. That's good. So now we have basically a list of objects, or a list of strings for which we need to create labels. And our label template, so for each, so metric labels equal this. For each LBL in label text in telemetry labels, panel telemetry labels. And we'll just say label. Label. And then we'll just create some kind of empty array here. $, label array. Label object array. Equal, whatever. Okay. And now, for each label in panel telemetry labels, let's maybe run through our script just a bit here. So what's panel telemetry labels? Panel telemetry labels. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So each one of those, we want to run a loop, a for each, that'll go create a label, set up that particular label at the right position, or with the right position, fill the text, maybe even name it, and then add it to that array up there. Let's see if we can just do that. That would be a nice little bonus. So let's see if we can do that. So for each label, we need to create a label. So let's create a label. Let's call it TMP label, or TMP LBL. Let's get our tab right. So we can say label $ label. Simple enough. LBL $ label. The height and the width we won't change, but its location, we're gonna have to add a counter here. So, or actually, we can figure out a way to count this dynamically. That's fair enough. So, what we can do is, so its location is gonna be x position base plus what? Actually, the X position base? Yeah. So X position base is always going to be that, but we're going to start at, wait a second, yeah, so X base, so X pos isn't gonna change at all actually. So X pos is this, so Y base, Y pos base, Y pos base, so the Y position base, let's see what the panel starts with. So the title is there. We don't want to start at the title. We want to start at 40. Okay, so Y position base is going to be 40. And $Y increment. Y anchor is going to be 30. So for each, alright, so XPOS is good, but this here is going to be a value, and the value it's going to be is going to be the Y position base plus the Y increment times the label object array dot count. I think that makes sense. And the text of the label, simple enough, is going to be label. And I think that'll do it. So yeah, that should do it. So let's try this out. No errors. That looks good. $ label object array. Oh. Ooh. Oh, that's right. We forgot to add it. Silly. TMP. $ label object array equal $ label object array plus. Okay. Let's try that again. Alright, there's all our objects. That's good. I just want to see the location. And I want to see the Y of the location. So, is our little basic thing working? It's starting at 40 and then incrementing by 30, and it looks absolutely like that's what it is doing. So, okay. Alright, so that's some core code we need there for the dynamic population of things. Okay, so I suppose for each, where's our, we have to look at our panels. Okay. So let's say we need these. Gotta put those for sure. Okay. What's panel telemetry labels? Okay, so those are all the nice. Okay. Now we have to kind of stick this. All right. Okay, so for each label in panel telemetry labels. Okay. So we know that the run space is receiving it's actually not receiving the craft. Not actually sending the craft stuff to it right now. Okay. 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 So I suppose that we will need to inner craft. I'll have to add a param or argument. And this argument will have to be the craft object. And the inner craft I suppose we can just try that and see if that will even fail. Okay. This thing's still going. Okay. We didn't get any failures, so that's good. Okay, so next step would be well, I suppose add argument. We're not gonna pass the whole craft. What we could do is we could pass the craft. Wait a second. $sign craft dot state dot velocity. Okay. So we can craft.state. So let's do craft.state and see what it is. Let's see what it is first. So it's a system.collections.hashtable plus sync hash table. Now, what if we do a subselect? So what if we how can we subselect from an array? So yeah, I don't think you can. Alright, so we have to pass the whole statement. Well, I don't think it's an easy way to without starting to like enumerate things. So okay. Okay. So we're going to pass the craft.state. I don't know if we'll have to add a reference there. I don't think we will. And then we'll have basically the inner craft. Inner craft dot keys is going to be the same thing as craft dot state dot keys. Right. Okay. Which is right. Okay. So I should also pass I should also pass panel data object, I suppose. Panel data object. Panel data object. Whoa. Panel data object. And we'll have to add the pattern here. $PDO. Okay. Okay. Now the panel data object is where we have all that nice stuff. Okay. So we know the name. The name of the panel is going to be i.name. We're going to have the panel data object, but it's going to be called PDO inside the run space. So PDO, and then dot $i.name. Let's say whatever, that's velocity. So dot velocity. Okay, so velocity. Okay. So PDO dot PDO dot. Okay. So $PDO dot $i.name. So that's going to give me that, which gives me the names of yeah. So that gives me right. So okay. And then for each level. Okay, so PDO dot that, and then dot keys for each. So this should work if I replace it with like velocity. Okay. So that will, and if we assign that to something, and this something should be an array or a system string. Wait a second. Is it just one big string? Okay, it's an array of strings. So something with a 0. Right. Okay, good. Okay, so that means that panel telemetry labels is going to be that. And then that actually means we can not pass the craft state at the moment. We'll leave it. Okay, so for each label, and then we won't add it to the label object array because that doesn't exist anymore. We'll just actually add it to the form, I imagine. So temp panel dot add. Controls dot add Oh, okay, so each I think this is gonna work, guys and gals. Want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers on. Oh, thank you so much, following J Matla. Let's see. Okay, well, I just want to say a quick welcome to everyone in the chat. Alfred Judokus. Another TTV viewer still around. Thanks for sticking around. Commander Root, I like your name. Crazy Cynical, Furious Jason, Rubber Slayer, VNK, Virgo Praz. Thanks, guys, for sticking around in the chat. Alright, let's see now. I think we can give this a go. And if we run this, it should put some labels in our panels, or shouldn't. Oh, it kind of did. It kind of did. It did one. So it kind of did only one. Okay, we can figure that out. So what's happening here? Ah, there you go. That's why. So we need to add an incrementer. So $, telemetry label count equals 0. That's it. That should do the trick. Oh yeah. Look at that. Alright. Very cool. Very cool. I can't click it. Oh, it seems... Okay, so when I click the labels, that's not the same thing as clicking the form. I see. Okay. Cool. Alright. That's pretty awesome. And of course, they're not ordered, so I'm gonna have to order them. Yeah. That looks pretty dang good. All right. So we've got some. It looks like. All right. Looks like we got the data to kind of dynamically populate now inside the farms, which is pretty sweet. Okay. I mean, it's not perfect, or the data's not there. Sorry. The labels for the data are there, so we still have to get the data there. Let's see if we can tweak our. We can get rid of this. We can get rid of this. I think we can get rid of this. All right. Any questions in the chat? I'll give a couple of minutes. I'll continue streaming for maybe about another hour, I would say. So you guys are welcome to stick around. I'm gonna keep plugging away, trying to get this developed a little further. My immediate tasks, I think, are gonna be to widen the panel size, just to give a little more space, and also start to see if I can actually access the data of the craft object's synchronized hash table for its state. That's going to be critical to getting the data inside each panel, and it'll be interesting to see if we can get that lined up nice and dynamically with the labels that we already created. So I'm looking forward to that. I think I'll take a little 2-3 minute bio break. You guys stick around. We're going to continue on with this. I will just leave, let's say, yeah. So we're making some pretty sweet progress today, getting these panels to dynamically populate with their, with the appropriate groupings of information. As you can see, just kind of using the default way. But because of the way that it's being done dynamically, we'll be able to actually control the grouping of the panels directly within Visi inside of Simple Rockets. So, as you can see, this thing somehow is still flying with 0 gas and its engines. That's pretty fantastic. But there you go. Gonna take a little 2-3 minute break, bio break. Stick around, guys, and we'll continue on with the stream after that. Like I said, for maybe about an hour, up until about 11 p.m. Eastern. So I'll speak to you in a few minutes.
This world out here is lonely and cold. This world out here is so lonely and cold. This world out here is lonely and cold. Oh, I guess I'll go
Alright, guys. And again, this thing is still flying somehow. Just coasting along nice and easily. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead. I think we can change some stuff here. Just make the forms look a little nicer. So we kind of use the 100 pixels offset on the X from these labels because they are 100 in length. They don't need to be 100. They can be like 25. So we'll go ahead and fix that right now. Bump over the dynamic labels that we're creating by 75 to compensate. That should make them look a little more proper. So we'll do that right away. So inside the class is where we have the label widths. So we'll just manually change those. No need to make it complicated. These are just debug labels anyways. Okay, that's good. Now we can shift over with that X offset that we have inside the run space right here. We'll subtract 75 from that. That's 45. Alright, and this thing's gonna plug soon. Oh yeah, looks like it's gonna plug right in that mountainside. Alright. So we made the adjustments. Let's have a quick test. Make sure it looks okay. Does it look okay? No. Doesn't. What did we do wrong here? Or did we? Did we do something wrong? I don't know. Oh, that's right. I remember now. We have to destroy the class. Does anyone know of how to destroy a class after you kind of create it in PowerShell? Does anyone know? I'm asking the chat. Welcome to the chat, Rubber Slayer. Holly W, welcome back to the chat. Furious Jason, hey, thanks for joining back up. Nice to see you back here. Crazy Cynical, welcome back. And okay, so does anyone know? Nobody knows, eh? Alright, so we will just save these. Let's maybe just give it another whirl. It looks like I didn't save the file. Okay, yeah, that was it. I just didn't save the file. That made it nice and... Alright. That's good. That's good. That's good. So, hey guys, if you like what you're seeing... Wow! Did you guys see that? Oh! 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 It's gonna survive! Or at least it survived that minor impact. That's quite something. Okay, so we fixed some of the positioning issues. I guess one thing that we could do is we could set the form height to, let's say, I don't know, plus 10 after the last label. Let's try that out. Oh no! Alright, a little too aggressive on the F4 there. We'll have to restart everything. Alright. Let's get this going again. Let's open up the panel. Let's open up Okay. Yeah, that's good. So now we have to dynamically size the height of the forms based upon the labels. So okay, so we could probably do this a simple way. We could probably do this TMP LBL dot position or location dot y plus $ TMP LBL dot height plus 10. And this should be our height of the form. So temp panel dot height equal that. So now we should have dynamically sized forms. Let's have a look. Nice. Hey, oh, we gotta fix some label issues there. Oh, and it's not. Okay. We gotta fix some naming stuff, but this is looking really nice, guys. This is looking very, very nice. Okay. Very cool. So we could definitely do some formatting on how the panels look. Probably the spacing, for sure, between the labels can be changed. We have to fix one of these. So this one, the current planet one, we're not creating the variables properly to... We need to change that in the game, I believe, to do it properly. So let's see if we can do that quickly in the game. That's going to be a bit of a task in the game, but not too bad. It'll take us a couple of minutes maybe. Alright, so let's end flight. We're going to have to go back into the Visi program because... Yes. So I think we called them... What did we call it in the class? The spacecraft class. We called it current planet inside the class. So I think we'll have to call it planet. Alright, so we'll save that. We'll double check the program inside Visi. Make sure that the variables will line up with the changes we made inside the class, because that's important. Current planet, yeah, let's see. So we gotta create, basically, this is where we messed. Well, I didn't quite know what I was doing back then, but we'll have to create some new variables here. So let me just get this a little better. Create variable. So log underscore current. No, can't make that mistake. Planet underscore. So I'll just copy that to clipboard. So name, create, then mass, and then radius, and then atmosphere height, solar position, child planets count, crafts count, and parent. Okay, so we've got those variables created. Now we've got to go ahead and replace these. So planet name. So, there we go. Now mass. And now radius. Now atmosphere height. And solar position. Child planets count. And crafts count. And the last one, parent. There we go. Alright, so we'll just do a bit of cleanup now. Get rid of the trash. So again, this is Visi. It's a blocky style kind of programming language built into the game of Simple Rockets 2 that allows you to do all kinds of nifty stuff inside. Definitely worth checking out. In this case, we're using it with a mod called SR2 Logger by WNP78, which allows us to export data. So that's what we're kind of doing now. And yeah, so I think we've done the modifications we've needed to do. I'm going to save that program because I think that's the right thing to do. And then I think that's all we actually need to do. At this point, we should be able to get things going. So we'll just make sure that we have, yeah, the logger is going. Let's get this plane moving. Actually, let's turn off the data logger for a sec. Fast forward. And there we go. We can take off a gear, turn the data logger back on, and we'll just let her go. Okay, so now let's give it a go. Okay, that's looking good. Okay, so this still says current. So that still says current. I think we need to restart ISE. We'll go ahead and restart ISE. Alright. I think we can get rid of this. Let's give it a go. There we go, we fixed the planet. Alright, perfect. Alright, so everything is kind of lining up nicely now. It's looking really good. Now, planets. We don't have any wrapping of text anywhere. I haven't seen any. Has anyone seen any wrapping of text? I don't think so. So the labels all seem long enough. So that's really cool. Let's go ahead and just add another label to the right of the label that contains the property name. And we'll just throw a dummy, some kind of dummy text in it. Doesn't matter. Right. Okay. So we can just do temp label again, and in this case what we will do is we'll just let's say call it 2, and we will call it val on top of that. So it'll be the same thing, but it will, so you know what, we can set it to the location of the first one. Can we add anything? Offset. What's offset? Void offset. Okay. What can we do with offset? That's on system.drawing.point. Let me turn off some of the throttle here. Keep it easy. So system.drawing.point. Let's look that up. Point structure, okay. And what does offset do? What does... Okay, so it offsets by... we have to provide it with a point. So I guess the point we would be providing it with was... so offset would be system.drawing.point. System.drawing.point, and then what's this? Huh, interesting. Okay, system.drawing.point, and this would be that, and it would be 0x offset. No, we would want an offset of the width plus some spacing, I guess. So 10, and then 0 on the y, I believe. I think that should work. Text equal value, and template to add. So I think that'll work. I think we could try that out. We'll give it a go. Let's see. Wow. Okay, no. Oh, okay, no. No, there's nothing wrong with that there. Oh, really? No, that's not a... I suppose I could, Let's try, well, actually, I don't know if that's what broke it, so let's just take this all out, retry it. Yeah, okay, so that works. And let's try slowly putting this stuff back in, but we can't really be slow because it's... I don't really think there's any issue here except this bit. These two bits are questionable. So let's just try that. Yeah, so all that still loads. Which means that now we just need to focus on the location. I have a feeling it won't work now. That's the problem. Okay, so in this case we can just do the same thing, and the X position is going to be the same as the other one but plus 110. We can scrap that to make sure. And I think that will be okay. I think it'll work now if we run it. Yep. And now we can just add the control to the form, and we should see it. There we go. Now it's hard for me to click on them. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. It's tricky for me to click on them now, though, because the labels have the
You know, I'll be DJing at a party and I'm playing break beats and somebody come on, could you put on a hip hop record? I said, fool, get
Okay,
away from me.
so that's good. Maybe we can try piping the data in as one of the last few things we do this evening. That would be a nice way to end the evening. Can we? Yeah, I suppose we could. Let's see. Actually, this. Oh. Okay. Right. Okay, so PDO. Panel, Dawson panel, so this again. I don't know if it's going to be an easy grab for doing that by the end of the stream. It's going to be a bit more of an involved effort, which I don't think I want to try attacking at the moment. So we may just see what we can do. So what did we do to the form? What did we do to the form? We added dynamically labels. So one thing we could do, I guess, is next time we can basically add a method to the custom form class to add both the property and value labels. The method should store a local property to track the current position. Okay, so we'll leave a little note for next time. I think that's probably where we're gonna leave it tonight. I think anything in terms of docking or in terms of piping the data into the labels where we currently have the placeholder values, I think we need to could we do it easily and quickly? Let's see. Okay. Let's see if we can do a bit of quick Frankensteining. So a timer. Panel timer. Let's call it panel timer. So this will be the timer for each panel. What is this PRB output? I'll use that. Okay, so there's that. argument list. Argument list, that's going to be rsctrl in my case, but actually inside the run space it's going to be run space control. It's going to be ctrl rs. Okay. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this either. Okay. We don't need this either. And we don't need the argument list because we're not really doing this just for the control. We can do this just for, let's say, the data population. So, yeah. Hey, guys, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, please don't be shy. Post them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. If you have any trouble with any PowerShell and you'd like to try and get some help, I'm more than happy to help you as well. So please don't be shy. Ask whatever you'd like in the chat, and we can always look to try and tackle it as a group if it's something challenging. So there you go. So now we're just trying to build a timer that we can tack onto our forms, which will be used to refresh the data from the synchronized hash table that we're passing to each of the run spaces that's supposed to contain the craft telemetry data that we're picking up by UDP on the receiver run space. So now our panel timer is just gonna go, and it will, we're gonna have to add the panel timer around here, and let's see, yep. So we have a timer, and that timer will basically go and check the inner craft, and inner craft is craft.state already. So it's going to take inner craft, $inner craft. What we can do is we can $inner craft equal craft.state. Okay. So so we'll set the interval to once a second, so 1,000 milliseconds, and every second we will make a craft data copy equal $inner craft, and then we need to get the panel name, which is going to be i.name. And then we kind of got to do some of the stuff we were doing before, which was, so we got the labels there. So we have access to the labels. And okay. So we have the labels. And the label value is good. So the value to okay. Okay. Yeah, alright, so every time our timer's gonna run, it's gonna make a copy of the craft data. And then in that craft data, that's already the state, and the current panel is gonna be this. So we need to select $craft data copy dot keys where underscore dash like this, and now we'll get all the keys. So inner craft.keys, right, where like sort dash objects, thank you hash tables, okay, where, okay, so then we're gonna have the keys to key names to update equal that. Okay. And now we know that the labels are going to be called what? The label's going to be called label, which is panel, so it's basically without the first part. So it's basically going to be LBL val, and it's going to be this is easy. It's going to be LBL val plus the specific key name to update. So for each $ key name in $ key names to update, the key name dot substring, and we're going to start at the length of $I dot name dot length. I think that makes sense. And then that's going to give us what we need to build the name of the control, which is going to be like that. We'll tack this on the front, and that should give us the name of the control there. So now $, what's the name of the form in here? Temp panel. So hang on, no, it's not. Well, is it? Try. Yeah, it is temp panel. So temp panel, or yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pass a parameter. So yeah, so param panel dot controls dot where dot name equal this. Label to update equal that. and I have to dash argument list $temp. How did I do this in the other one? Stars control. That's not what I was looking for. Okay, so the timer. So in this case, the timer is going to be inside the run space and temp panel, and timer is going to be outside of, well, it should be fine. Temp panel. I think that'll be fine. So temp panel, label to update. For each label to update, where label to update. So label to update dot okay, so label to update dot text equal what? The text of the label is going to equal the value, and the value is going to be on the craft object, which is going to be inner craft, and the value is going to be like something like that. So in this case, we know it's going to be LBL val keys. Okay. All right. So it's going to be the key name. That's right. It's the key name. That, and then $piano dot update. I think that's all it takes. And then panel timer needs to get started as well. Okay, I think that may actually work. So let's give it a go. Oh, all right. So what's going on here? Oh, wow. Causing some issues here. Some serious issues. Okay. Oh. Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to be a bit of an effort to try and get done before the end of the stream today, so I think that's a sign to kind of leave it at that for the day, but we can leave it a little note indicating that this is where we're going to leave off. Leaving off here. Time to make some donuts with values in labels next time. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Thanks for hanging out. If you liked what you saw, please click the follow button until you get updated the next time I plan to do the stream. I don't always announce the stream on social media, so the best way to make sure you're aware of it is to follow me on Twitch. And of course, you can check any archived recordings of streams on YouTube. The link is on the Twitch page as well. Powershell done poorly, as always. We'll stick around for a few more minutes. Maybe just load up. This thing is still going. Let's maybe do a little demo flight on the way out of some of the kinds of automation you can do inside of simple rockets. I'll give a few minutes for people. It's the end of the stream. I like to give time for people to ask any questions they have. So let's see. We'll load a craft here. Let's see. Let's see, where is it? Okay. There we go. Let's see, I won't control anything on this. Let's see what it does. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Give a few more minutes. Any questions or comments? I really appreciate you guys hanging out. It was fun. We got some more stuff done on the script. Made some more progress. Got a little more configuration done on our panels. Looks like we're making some steady progress towards getting the data in there. Any suggestions you have, or you'd like to see something in the panels, if you play simple rockets and you'd like to take advantage of these panels in the future, then please don't be shy. Say some stuff you'd like to see in there. I'm happy to try and get it done for you guys. We'll leave the rocket flight to walk us out. I'll just hang out for a few more minutes. Once again, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I think we're done with the Powershell for tonight. We'll just have a look at simple rockets, see what it does here. We can see the camera changing orientation. That's usually an indicator of center of mass change, and we can see that with the rocket flame changing. But we're pretty much, I think, where we need to be. The Visi should be taking care of things automatically. So if we look at things here, oh yeah, should auto fast forward shortly. Maybe I broke something. I may have broke something. Let's see. It's very possible. How about we just mess with things? Let's mess with things. Let's shoot off a bunch of satellites. Not very organized. Alright. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time.